vote also for the House of Representatives and for the Senate, because those are the people that will determine the laws, the policies that would influence our lives, our businesses, wherever we find ourselves in Nigeria for the next 4 years. And they occupy a very important role and play a very important position in our democracy and in nation building. So please go and find out who will your lawmaker be, who do you need to be in office.
Cynthia,
the issue of technological
I don't know whether it's you,
I
don't know whether it's you or Biodu who is going to answer this. But now we're talking about the legislative arm of government, and tomorrow's election is presidential, but it's also National Assembly. Yeah. Now, in several places we have seen where they said, oh, okay, it's this ballot box for president, is this type of ballot box for senators, is this one for... Can you educate us about that? Which box is it for who?
Yeah, go
and
online,
how do you know?
There's so many different colors.
That's it, that people have been saying.
Yeah, actually, go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
okay,
go on.
Thank you. As you know, we have 3 elections going on tomorrow. And they are the presidential election, the Senate, and then the House of Assembly. And the way that helps me is that the House of Representatives used to be a green plastic kind of ballot, plastic thing, but I think it's now the plastic, proper plastic with the green cover. And then the Senate, as you know, is the upper chamber, and that's the red one that has the red cover. And then the presidential is the black. And, the way I also remember it is that I remember it also from the red chamber and the green chamber. That also helps me to remember it.
No, please say it again. Biodu, please say that again. The way you said it, you kind of got lost. Please be more, straightforward and simple.
Okay. House of Representatives is the green chamber. So that's the green ballot box. Okay. Then the Senate is the red chamber. It is a red ballot box. And the president is the other one, which is the black chamber, or which is the black box. So it's very
no, but that's fine. That's fine. We can't.
Not the black chamber.
No. Be careful. Fine, fair enough.
I was going to come back to you, Ms. Benita, because yesterday we had this conversation about the National Assembly race and female candidates. Sorry, Ladi, I'm going to go there. Because when you look at the report about the number of women who are running, many women who are even educated and knowledgeable in the field don't know who they are. What can we do? I mean, tomorrow is a case of you don't even know which woman is running. You're supposed to, but you might not. Do you just go and say, okay, because she's a woman, I'm going to vote for her because she's female?
I don't have that view. Based on my leadership understanding over the years, we've taught leadership, I believe in competence. I don't believe in being female. I believe what we should do better, of course, we should give women a better playing field, an opportunity to also compete. And I know there are women who can do by far better than many men around them. However, we need to recognize that the movement, the feminist movement, the women movement, and the women group, it is their responsibility to showcase these women at this season. I mean, I don't know too many women who are running, but like I said, tonight...
over 750 for this
tonight I'm going to do my research, but I always tell women, I don't believe in voting for a woman unless I'm sure she's competent. For
but
me,
would you vote for a man if you are not sure?
If a man is not competent, ain't getting my vote either. Competency for me is the critical factor for this 2019 election. Because we must advance as a nation. And for me, I have something that we all say you get the leaders you deserve. But let me take it a notch higher. You get the nation you created and designed. Nations are designed. Nations are created. They are not automated. They don't come down from heaven. Angels and spirits don't build cities. So it's our responsibility as Nigerians to create the nation we want. The environment we have created for Nigeria is a responsibility of Nigerians. It's not the responsibility of the United Kingdom. It's not the responsibility of the Americans. It's not the responsibility of even Liberia, who is here to observe our elections. It is Nigerians' responsibility to create the nation they want. So 2019 going forward, electronic voting, is that what we want? Created. Better education, is that what we want? Created. Economic fiscal and monetary policy, a better policy for everyone to have more money in their pocket, created. So tomorrow is the opportunity for creation. So that's why tonight, instead of us watching too many movies into the night, if you have capacity to use your phone to find out in those public places, I better go, who they run for my side? Now, which kind of person it be? All of us must do a little bit of research tonight. So there's no story for tomorrow's election. We must all be geared and ready. And to the elite class, Arsenal, Man U guys, please come out with your canvas. The nation needs your vote. This is serious business. So that tomorrow, don't come and say, oh, this person is bad, that person is bad. We have been given an opportunity to create the nation we want.
So, Enti, would you like to ask a final question?
No, I was going
just
to
as we are trying to wind up now. Yes,
yes, I was going to say your final statement so that we need to talk numbers, and Shimon is on standby to come talk numbers. So
just one of the things I just like to talk to tell INEC is that the card, the PVC card, they are using an outdated technology, and somebody needs to tell them, and it seems they don't know, because that card itself will fade, because they use what is called a dye-sublimation technology, and that technology is not used for long-term card usage, and they say it's not going to be permanent. I'm sure there are people today whose cards have faded, and with that faded card, maybe they are not going to be.
I'm sure they're also thinking about unifying all the database across the country. So maybe by the time that's done, we might be getting more cards.
Recently, we saw some cards with some pictures on the right. Another one had some pictures on the left.
It depends on where you saw them and if INEC exactly.
Well, INEC
so INEC must be able to know what it's doing. Because when you look at the card, definitely they don't know.
But INEC has said that the card reader is able to authenticate all of this. Let's get the final words from Abiodun and Cynthia.
Starting with you, Cynthia. Now, as we go to these elections tomorrow, it's coming a bit late in the conversation, but it's not one election. Because every time most people talk about this election, they talk about, oh, tomorrow is the presidential election. Tomorrow. There are, in fact, 3 elections taking place tomorrow. So as we go to the 3 elections tomorrow, what would be what you would ask Nigerians to watch out for and what they should do when they get to the polling booths?
First, ensure you have your permanent voter's card and be at the poll as early as possible. 8 a.m. is opening of polls, so if possible, get there before 8. Now, voting ends at 2 or when the last person on the poll votes, meaning you have to be on the queue at least by 2 p.m. because once it's 2 p.m., no one can join the queue. Only those on the queue will be allowed to vote. Now we have 3 elections, the president, we have for the Senate and the House of Representatives. So you'll be giving ballot papers for these elections, for these 3 elections. Every voter's PVC will be verified using the smart card reader, your fingerprints authenticated. If the card reader does not authenticate your fingerprints, don't be worried. Just move to the next official who has the register, the assistant presiding officer, who will be looking at the register, and you'll be asked to thumbprint on the register if your fingerprints are not authenticated by the smart card reader. And then your phone numbers will also be collected. Then you'll be given your ballot paper. Ensure that your ballot paper behind it is signed, it is stamped, and it is dated, because that is what one of the things that validates your ballot paper by your presiding officer. Then you proceed to cast your vote, and then you vote for the candidates of your choice. It's always important we remind voters that please tomorrow, don't just vote for the president and leave. Remember, you have 3 other offices that you are allowed to vote for. Now, we also want voters to give consideration to, because you would have special queues for pregnant women, for the elderly, and for persons with disability also. So you don't go and start causing chaos when you have special treatment given to this category of persons. Understand with them, they're also our citizens that also need special care. If your PVC is not read by the smart card reader, please, you would also not be allowed to vote. It's also important to verify that you are at the right polling unit. Some polling units will be split into voting points, which is why it's good to come early, just in case your polling unit is split. You'd also identify the right voting point where you'll be casting your vote. If there is already an indelible ink on your finger, you will not be allowed to vote. Meaning, for every voter that comes to vote, they will check to be sure you have no indelible ink, so that you'll be allowed and permitted to vote. Please, it's important that we are orderly and peaceful. If you want to wait behind to count your ballot paper, that is allowed, but give a distance so you don't disrupt the process. And at the point of counting, INEC would give the result to be written at the form from EC60E that will be posted at the polling unit. You can take a picture of that report, because that is also our duty to also take pictures.
Cynthia,
and even
I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to put you on pause because of time, and go to Biodun for the last 90 seconds. Biodun, what do you have to add?
Well, I think it's important that when we go out to vote tomorrow, the voters must recognize that there are 3 candidates in that election, in every constituency, anywhere you are going to be voting. And one of the things we've had is the bandwagon, where whatever the person picks for presidential, the party, we will just pick that for the remaining 2 seats, Senate and House of Reps. But we want them to think carefully. Yes, you know who you want for president, but who do you want as your senator? Who do you want as your House of Rep? There is no law that says that you must choose the same party all through. Let it be the candidates that are of your own choice. So we hope that people will actually take time to identify who are running for these other smaller seats, and this will help them to make informed choices and not just this bandwagon effect we've been having for a long time.
I would like to thank you for sharing those thoughts. Don't worry, we have another man of numbers, our political correspondent, Shewa Kimbaloye, who will be joining us pretty soon to do a little bit more analysis. But for now, just to thank you, Election Monitor Abiodun Ajijola, for coming on the program. To also thank from Yaga Africa, Cynthia Mbamalo over there in Abuja. Thank you to you both for coming on the program. And here in Lagos, ladies first, so I'm going to thank the Director for Program, Institute for National Transformation, Juliet Benitier, and also to thank Mr. Olushola Obasa, the document security expert. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program as well.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Indeed. We'll take a break. We'll be taking a break at this point. When we come back, then Shehu will join us. That's another numbers man. And then later on,
before Shehu joins
us, that's after the break. I'm talking after the break. You want to talk before the break.
Exactly, because before comes after.
Before comes before after.
So Victor Matthias will give us a breakdown of what's obtainable in 2019 compared to 2015, talking about the youth vote.